Another quarterback in the news is Kirk Cousins. Redskins president Bruce Allen made it clear where the team stands when it comes to Cousins. Take a listen.
For the listeners, scale of 1 to 10, him as a Redskin next year. 10?
Yeah.
Can I put 10 on that?
You go ahead. You got a pencil or a pen?
I got a pen. I got a marker. I might put down 11.
No, Kurt's our quarterback. He played well the last 2 years, and I know there's other speculation, but it doesn't come from the Redskins.
Cousins played under the franchise tag this past season and could become an unrestricted, let's slow that down, free agent in March. How much is Cousins worth, Stephen A.?
He ain't worth $100 million, I can tell you that. I mean, you look at his stats, and certainly, Kirk Cousins is very adroit at compiling numbers. I would never dispute that. And based on numbers, considering today's market, and a guy by the name of Jay Cutler, who just seems to be getting fat by the hour, sitting up there collecting about $20 million with his inept, unproductive self as a quarterback, is just sickening to think that he could get paid that money. As far as I'm concerned, Kirk Cousins is worth double what he's making in a fantasy world. But in the real world, you don't get to sit up there and make that amount of money just because somebody was stupid enough to give that money to Jay Cutler. Having said all of that, I think Kirk Cousins is very adroit at accumulating numbers and padding those numbers to make himself look good. But when crunch time arrives and you need this guy to step up in big moments and in big games, he has continuously fallen short, which is why the Redskins were home this year instead of playing in the postseason. Because of that reality, I would give him money, but I would have a hard time making him my franchise guy in terms of committing 9 figures to him. Well, not committing, because, the guarantee wouldn't be $9 million, but 9 figures. But I would have a hard time doing it, to be quite honest.
I'm glad you used the word franchise, because there's a difference between a starting quarterback and a franchise quarterback. And John Elway tried to make this point with Brock Osweiler. He was like, look, just because you're a starter doesn't mean you need to get paid like a superstar. How about a middle-class quarterback? And middle-class quarterback seems to cap out around what Osweiler got paid. And I would say a franchise quarterback, Damian, is a guy, you have him, you ain't looking anymore. A starting quarterback is a guy, you got him, but is there anything else around? Cousins, to me, is that. Cousins is like, yeah, we got a starting quarterback. Doesn't mean we're not looking, but we got a starting quarterback. It's not a guy you're like, okay, our franchise is set for the next 10 years. And so I would say anything south of the Osweiler contract, but I agree with Stephen A., not a $100 million franchise level. This guy maybe, we're set for 10 years type contract.
First of all, I totally disagree with everyone here, and here's the reason why. Number one, just addressing Stephen A. The reason the Redskins were sitting home was because of their defense. They don't have any prolific guys on defense that you have to game plan around, hence why the whole defensive staff got fired by the Washington Redskins. That's number one. Number two, we in the media and people outside, we have this thought where we have a certain figure on what a guy should make. And that is totally false. It's not what we think the guy should make. It's what the market dictates what a guy should make. So, for instance, we have, Tannehill down in Miami. This guy is making probably $18 million a year. And people look at Tannehill like, he's a good quarterback. But it's all about the market. When you hit the market, everything's about timing. And for Kirk Cousins right now, if you put Kirk Cousins on the open market, I guarantee you Kirk Cousins is going to get somewhere close to what Andrew Luck is making. But you know what the problem with that is? But that's just the fact. It's about the open market, Max. It's not about what we think just watching him, play football. It's all about all it takes is one team.
But this is what I'm saying.
Will pay big time.
You're looking at it from Cousins' point of view. You're right. That's the reality. Right. But those are a lot of times stupid franchises. And this is what I mean by that. On the open market, you don't go to the average bidder. You go to the high bidder. So the person who is willing to bid more than the others is the one who gets you. That's a kind of warped view of how much you're worth. And for that team, if you're not worth the money, in terms of production, they're now hamstrung, they're handcuffed in terms of where else they can devote resources, and they wind up being not as good a team.
But here's the thing, Max. We always talk about what we think Kirk Cousins deserves. Now, here's the flip side of that. If Kirk Cousins leaves, who are you going to replace him with? Is he a guy that you can just readily
Can I
replace?
answer that question?
You're not going to be able to just we can just go pluck a guy off the street and replace Kirk Cousins. It doesn't work like that. We're always quick to kick somebody to the curb, but you never think on the flip side, who are we going to replace this guy with? You got to take that into consideration.
Stephen A., go ahead.
Damian, first of all, you're not getting my point.
What's your point, Stephen A.?
I'm not trying to. Then listen,
What's your
damn
point?
it, and I'll tell you what the point is. Don't interrupt me when I said you're not listening to my point. Okay, Kirk Cousins threw for 4,917 yards. He had 25 touchdowns, threw 12 interceptions. We get all of that. Had a QBR of around 72. We know he can play. I'm not trying to sit up there and say you can just replace him. I'm not sitting up there saying that he don't deserve some money. I'm saying to you, when I give you franchise caliber money, when I give you in excess of $20 million, when I place the franchise in your hands, I got to have something to show for it more than one playoff appearance. And I can't have guys on my offense talking about how you are concerned and the kind of plays you call are just to pad your numbers to make you look good while the rest of us are suffering. We know that the Redskins' defense wasn't impressive. We know that that defensive staff deserved to be fired. We know that they're primarily responsible and that Kirk Cousins could play. But key losses, losing at Detroit after a 4-game winning streak, the tie against Cincinnati, losing to Dallas, ending the season knowing that you needed just to win to get in, okay? And against a New York Giants team that had nothing to lose whatsoever, they were already in. When you can't, when you repeatedly can't show up, that resonates, Damian. It just does.
In a hard cap league like the NFL, the whole job of the GM is properly pricing commodities, meaning players. You got to properly price them. You're right. Kirk Cousins is way above replacement level. You know, he gives you added value. How much above is the question? Because if you overpay for that, you are now handcuffed in other areas. So I would suggest whatever the market dictates, if I were a team, not going over that Osweiler contract.
Okay, well,
Damian's just giving you side eye right now.
You got to find a replacement.
You're right about that. You got some leverage.
And good luck finding a quarterback replacement in this league.
They're growing on trees.
No, you're right. He has
Damian,
leverage.
so good to see you.
Same
Come back.
here.
Come back again soon.
And that's it. Stop
Good
running
job,
from me.
but you don't have to come back.
Stop running.
You know who
Well,
knows
no, please. Every time I'm there, you're gone.
all
Every time I'm there,
about
you're
getting
gone.
paid.